Welcome, everybody, to the More Listings Mastermind. I'm your host, Robert Weichelt. I'm a certified success coach. We meet every Wednesday, 1 p.m. Pacific, 4 p.m. Eastern. You can log in each week, morenowlistings.com. That's morenowlistings.com. Go ahead and save the date. It's going to be a good show for you today, and I'm super excited to get started. Who am I? My name is Robert Weichelt. I've been in the business since 1986. Yeah, that's probably older than our special guest. But my point is, I've had the privilege of helping thousands of sellers, countless of agents, achieve success in every type of market. I call it the ups and downs and all arounds of real estate. I've seen it all. I've been in the REO market in the early 90s, again in the 2000s. I'm certainly positioned for the next time that it comes. I don't want anyone to lose their home, just so we're clear. But corporate sellers need help too. So I certainly want to be there to help them as well. As a broker, trainer, mentor, my mission is very simple, guys. I want to empower others to grow. I want them to win, and I want to be able to lead with purpose. I want to be able to help agents take more listings. This is not the take and work with more buyers mastermind. This is a more listings mastermind. So we're going to talk about getting more listings into your business. We're going to talk about now listings, FSBOs, expireds, pre-foreclosures. We're going to talk about future business, REO, and distressed. Are you positioned for the next market that's coming? We help agents just like you with lead generation, listing mastery, agent development, building scalable systems for your real estate growth. As a certified coach and podcast host, I bring world strategies, relentless passion, and proven strategies to help agents take massive action and build long-term wealth. If you want to schedule an appointment with me and to take a look under the hood and find out what's going on in your business, I certainly encourage you to do that. Now, I always start my trainings, my coaching, my mentorship, anything I do, I start off with Imagine Dragons, whatever it takes. But my quote is something I also start with. Tell me and I forget. Teach me, I may remember, but you involve me and I learn. That's Benjamin Franklin. So let's dive right into it. If you guys want to take a screenshot, you want to record this on your own, it doesn't matter to me. I want to be nothing but transparent and help every agent on this call. It doesn't matter what company you're with. It doesn't matter if you're a big company, small company, or anything in between. None of that matters. I want to help my fellow realtors. 5 habits you need to grow your real estate business today. Number 1, lead generation. Block 90 minutes each and every day. If you're doing more than that, awesome. But if you're not, book at least 90 minutes per day on focused prospecting. Let's talk about that keyword focused. Focused prospecting means the door closed, every little distraction's completely removed, and you're focused on the task at hand. Number 2, we need to track and measure our numbers. What gets measured gets improved. Track and measure your numbers every single day. Number 3, set appointments daily. A day without a seller or buyer appointment is a red flag in our business, and we need to be prospecting to get those appointments. Number 4, follow up like a pro. The fortune is in the follow-up. 80% of conversions happen with the follow-up. Number 5, sharpen your skills, role play, study scripts, watch top agent content. Come to the More Listings Mastermind. We have great guests, and today is no different. I'm super excited. And I love sharing this. I literally wake up every single morning. I say this quote to myself every single day. Do something today that your future self will thank you for. That's powerful. I love it. And I say it every day. I'm kind of weird that way, but that's the way it works. And I want to get fired up. So with that said, do you have a business that's efficient and effective? Are you taking your listings via Zoom? Are we doing at least the consultations via Zoom? I don't know about you, but just about every large city in America has a lot of traffic. And if you drive an hour to get to an appointment and an hour at the appointment and then an hour back, that's 3 hours out of your day to meet with a seller that maybe isn't on the same page with you in terms of what their home should sell for. I would much rather do it in a 3 to 5 minute quick consultation with the seller, with a buyer, with an investor, and if you're growing your team, with an agent. I'm not saying don't go out there and press the flesh, but in the beginning, when you're being efficient with your business, find better ways to be more effective. Are you driving massive traffic to your open houses? This is one of our partners, 884 people to our open house. I'll repeat that, 884 people in a 2-day, Saturday and Sunday open house. But here's the catch. That's not the record. That is not the record. We had another one of our partners had over 1,200. He had 9 agents, a lender or two. I forget how many lenders he had, but he had 9 agents and it wasn't enough. That's a good problem to have. Because remember, the only reason why we do open houses is to drive traffic. More eyes equals more offers. So I'm telling you what, you have to have the tools and able to do that. Now, are you reaching out to the lowest hanging fruit? FSBO, they already want to sell. They have their hands up. Expireds, they already went through a 6-month relationship that didn't work for some reason, usually price. Do you have a system where you're reaching out to FSBOs, expireds, pre-foreclosure? Pre-foreclosures are a great way to go. Reach out to the folks that are in distress. Let's help them get back on track. It feels good to help somebody keep their home. But knowing that not all of them can keep their home, and when they have that finally come to the conclusion where they can't keep their home, who are they going to call if you've already helped them? You got in the trenches with them. You showed them how to look at the options to save their home. Think about that. Of all the offers out there, most sellers, a lot of sellers want a cash offer. Do you have a cash offer solution? Do you have the ability to speak to a seller that says, I want a cash offer. That's all I want. That's all they want until they see the offer. But if you don't have a cash offer solution and you say, oh, I'm sorry, I don't have a cash offer, maybe I can get one of my investors, they're going to move on. It's when you have a cash offer solution, it keeps you in the conversation. 89% of the sellers that see a cash offer run from it. Only 11%, and that might be a little bit padded, only 11% of the sellers actually take it, usually because they're under the gun, they're under a time frame. But if you don't have a cash offers, your conversation is basically ending there. Get a cash offer system. Do you have a way to get the sellers the highest and best price, period? I've never met a seller that said, Robert, if you can get me the least amount of money for my home, I'd appreciate it. That's never happened, ever. Do you have a system that's transparent, has competitive bidding, competitive in terms of transparency and the offers? All the offers are transparent. Also, the compensation is transparent as well. If you'd like to fast track your success in working with FSBOs and expireds, I encourage you to schedule a quick one-on-one with me. I certainly will walk you through exactly what we're doing. And one thing to do is anybody that wants to stick around, we're going to go over some accountability. I think it's important. If you're not tracking and measuring your numbers, you are certainly not doing all the things you need to do. Prospecting is one thing, but tracking and measuring is another. Now, I don't care if you have a fancy CRM, Sisu is a great one, or you're writing it on the napkin. It doesn't matter, but as long as you're tracking and measuring your numbers, you will succeed. Tracking and measuring your numbers lets you realize where you need the help. So with that said, we always like to celebrate our wins. Make sure you look back at the week that was. What did I do that I was proud of? What did I do that I wasn't so proud of in terms of business? Look back and go, you know what? I didn't prospect as much. Change it. Start today. Celebrate the small wins. So with that said, speaking of small wins, I want to introduce you to my lender, Richie Sorensen. Richie has helped my daughter. He's helped our son. It is a fantastic feeling knowing that you can refer your lender to somebody that you're forwarding your family. I mean, what about a Thanksgiving dinner? If he drops the ball, that Thanksgiving dinner is no bueno. So my point is, so I want to bring Richie on real quick because he's got a lot of great stuff to share. Richie, you still there, buddy? I saw you log in.
Here, Robert. Yeah, I'm here. Sorry, it took me a second to
No. That is awesome. You know what, Richie? Let's tell the audience who's Richie Sorensen.
Well, I started 10 years ago. I was selling artificial grass, but I joke I learned more at the dinner table than some will their entire career. Chris Sorensen, my father, is our senior vice president here at Paramount Residential Mortgage Group. So I was pushing Hot Wheels around his office while he was taking applications and decided at 21 years old, I'm a glutton for punishment. Let me see what mortgage lending is all about. So I followed his footsteps into the industry, have had success as I progressed through my career. I think the thing that makes me smile the most is to look back over these 3 years. We've amassed 330 5-star reviews from home buyers, creating raving fans. So that's what we do. We just love to serve our community, and what better way to do so than to help someone build wealth through real estate.
Amen to that, brother. So let's dive into it. Each week we have you come on and give us the mortgage minute. So let's dive right into the mortgage minute, Richie.
Perfect. So we got some big news from the Fed, and I know we've been kind of touching on the Fed these last couple of weeks, but it's important what's going on there. There's been a shift in sentiment with several key Fed members signaling they're open to rate cuts, which is the opposite of what Jerome Powell has been saying. This is all provided inflation stays in check. So this is something we're watching very closely because this could impact future market sentiment. The other thing we make sure we watch for you guys is home sales. We saw a slight rise in existing home sales in May. They're still down slightly year over year, but there's a lot of pent up demand. And why I mention that is even just a slight rate drop could trigger a big spike in activity. So, Robert, if you don't mind, you did a great job plugging me. I just want to add to that a little bit is if you, the agent, are behind your computer doing all this follow up where you're not out there meeting new people, meeting new sellers, meeting new buyers. I'm sure everyone's ran into that where you reach out to your lender and go, hey, what happened to Joe Homebuyer? I referred you 3 months ago. I never heard anything. Never let that happen again. We set you up. We dummy proof it. We set you up in our CRM so we can make sure your clientele, that's the big push we're telling people right now. Hey, a small dip, it's going to get competitive very fast. It's never too early to game plan. Let's just put some numbers on paper, make sure you're well prepared. And a big part of what we do to make their offer stand out is let's get you underwritten. It costs you nothing. We'll underwrite you. And now it gives me a chance to reach out to the listing agent and say, hey, this isn't your normal offer. They have taken the time to get underwritten. They're done. I need an appraisal, an updated pay stub, make sure they didn't lose their job, and we're closing. So I'll leave it at that.
You know what I always say, Richie, is first the loan, then the home. So thank you for that mortgage minute, guys. I tell you what, if you need to get a hold of Richie, use his QR code, reach out to him, have a conversation. He does an amazing job for us, number one. And he has got great marketing tools. He is certainly your partner in this business. So Richie, thank you so much, my friend. All right. So let's get started. If you want more now listings, because I'd rather have a listing today than tomorrow. But if I can't get a listing today, I'll take it tomorrow. But my point is, the most important thing is getting your business going right now. Let's build it today and tomorrow. So if you want to take a look under the hood, schedule a 30-minute strategy session. I'd certainly would sit down and we'll take a look and see what's going on with your business, whether it be getting you with My Plus leads to get the FSBOs expired, the pre-foreclosures, getting you with the REO space that's certainly about to come, and then getting you introduced to the online offers platform where you're getting the sellers the highest and best price. Absolutely your call. It's on you to reach out to me, and you just let me know how I can help. I was looking in the dictionary this morning, and I went to the word awesome, and I saw Austin Hellickson's photo there, and it was the weirdest thing I've ever seen in my life. So I'm going to introduce you to awesome Austin Hellickson. And Austin, how are you, brother?
I'm great. Thank you for having me on here today, Robert. I appreciate it.
Oh yeah, no problem. I know we were talking before we got started. We both like side by sides, the razors and the Can-Ams, and we have a lot of conversations about that. And we certainly are going to hook up at the desert here soon.
Yes.
But it's fun. But let's dive into who Austin Hellickson is. Why don't you tell the audience who's Austin Hellickson?
So my name is Austin Hellickson, obviously speaking. I live in Washington State. I have a Washington State real estate team as well as one coming to Utah. Last year, myself, excluding my team, I signed just over 160 listings. Got 30 agents between on my team and onboarding, and on the admin support staff, we're about 10, 15 people now. So we have a very big back end, very big support system, and we've been able to not only automate, but systematize the process very specifically to ensure, number one, our clients get world-class service, and number two, our agents can close more deals.
Yeah, those are huge numbers, guys. 160 signed contracts. That's 13 a month if you average it out. 13.33 to be precise. That's a lot of business. And Austin, we don't like to play the age game, but tell the audience how old you are.
I'm a baby, Robert. You said 1980 something you've been in the business?
1986.
Geez, I've been alive since '02, so I'm 23.
Oh my God, I never felt more old in my life. Thank you very much for that. So you're 23.
Yes, sir.
There's a lot of people in this call that are thinking, wait a second, he's 23. You've been doing this a long time. Now you have some really great foundations. So let's be clear
I
about
got some
that.
good genes. Yeah.
You got some good genes, Club Wealth. Michael
Yep.
Hellickson's your father. You have an amazing mother. And we ran into him, Carl and I did just
Yeah.
recently. So yeah, he comes from a really, really amazing background. There's no question. But you can know what? It doesn't really matter. That he had the opportunity, but what he's doing is taking action. So that's what I want to focus on today is Austin. What do we want to say to the agents? Maybe run them through what you do on a day to day. I'm not looking for your playbook by any means, but let's share with the audience, the folks that are watching this on YouTube, the folks that are listening to this on our podcast on Spotify. What do you want to say to them and tell them about how you're? I mean, taking 160 listings, that's a big number.
It's a lot of work. And
Yeah.
so it really gets broken down into three different parts. You got to find business, right? That's your lead generation. To what you said earlier on, I think it was your 5 bullet points, right? You got to nurture these leads. You got to continue to follow up with them. And at the end of the day, what were you doing on the picture in your quad, which I love, by the way? A listing appointment, right? You have to go out and you have to actually close these people.
Mm-hmm.
If you're not doing those three things every single day, you're not going to see your business continue to go upward. Everyone always talks about the roller coasters of the real estate business. Well, you want to not have the roller coaster and you want to have a continual growing business. Just focus on three things: finding people, calling and nurturing them, and closing them. Other than that, if and whenever possible, find ways to automate and systematize the back end of the system. So, focusing on the front end, focusing on, well, what can we do to find business? Because it's great to, to list homes. How do I find people to list homes? Number one, cash offer leads, always a great lead source, low funnel. Number two, REO, it's what Robert mentioned. Number three, home evaluation. And some of the easiest, lowest of the low hanging fruit, for sale by owners, expired listings, and cancels. Right after this call, I'm driving, it's an hour away, but it's a for sale by owner appointment. And I love for sale by owners. They are, I don't say they're super easy, but when you have systems in place, they can be very easy. You just have to find ways to do it. So, Robert, if you'd like, number one, I'm more than happy to dive in and share my screen.
Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and stop sharing my screen right now. So let's go ahead and do that real quick.
Yeah.
And you have the screen, my friend. Go for it.
All righty. Let's hit share screen. Let me know once you can see my screen.
I certainly will. There we go.
All righty. This is the easiest way I call for sale by owners. So I go to Zillow and I'll go, oh, not Twin Cities. I don't live in Twin Cities. Gotta love screen sharing, how the speeds are. Let's see if it'll just go to Washington. There we go. Washington State. I'm going to call expired listings, and not expires, but for sale by owners in the entire state. When you go to more, I only select the owner posteds, and then I sort specifically by the newest properties for multiple different reasons. Number one, obviously speaking, they're brand new, and I have two different types of calls that I do for sale by owners. I'll explain both in great detail in a second. Number one, people who have bad pictures. Number two, people who have been on the market a little bit longer than they should have. So as I'm scrolling on the right-hand side, for example, this house in Nacelle, I'm not going to call this property. Why? Well, number one, they have good pictures. It was posted 2 hours ago. So they're probably pretty set in stone on only want to do a for sale by owner. However, what do you notice about these pictures? There's no inside pictures. So that could and would be my foot in the door. I'll get to that script in a second and what I say there. Clarkston, right? Good exterior house. They got inside pictures. I would probably personally leave that one alone for a little while. I'm looking for the easier stuff. Again, I like to go for the lowest of the low-hanging fruit first. Look at this one on the right in Toccoa. What do you guys notice about this picture?
Well, there's not a lot going on.
It's Google, right? It's just the Google satellite picture.
Google Map, yeah.
Yep. So if I scroll and find a better example as well. Grandview. I mean, that's a nice curtain or somewhat drape, right? Nice hardwood floor. Where's the outside of the house? As I scroll, again, look at this one in Ocean Park. I mean, it's a green roof, it looks like, right? Oh, it's a nice roof. Oh, now I can actually see the house. These for sale by owners, they don't see these things like we do up front. Commercial kitchen, it looks like, which is nice, but is it a church we're selling? Is it, I mean, oh, that's a beautiful not picture of the outside of the house, right? My point being, lowest of the low hanging of the fruit. So, Robert, to role play this one with you, I'll find the next one. We'll do this next one together.
Yeah.
Let's do this. Let's do this one in Port Angeles.
Okay.
So, before we do the role play, well, how do I get his phone number, Austin? Do I have to hit contact agent or contact homeowner? No. There's multiple things you can do. Number one, most states and areas, you can scroll down and you can find the property owner's phone number below. Number two, what I'll do in this example is I'll copy the address. There's a company called True People Search. Oh, truepeoplesearch.com. Phone number, if my computer wants to load. Oh, it's not a phone number search. Awkward. It's going to be an address search. A little clumsy today. There we go. Address search and search. Now, this is to find their contact information. Now I can see, oh, Tyler Jennings is most likely the owner of the property. View details. Scroll down, and now I have a phone number. 6413. Let's see. It's a different phone number as well. That said, usually speaking, you can get pretty good at information there. My Plus Leads, Robert, I'm assuming has a similar neighborhood search filter there as well. I would assume.
They do.
Perfect. So finding their phone number, there's many different ways you can do it. Number one, coming back to how I would call Robert. Number one, the most important thing is to be normal and natural. So if I were to call Robert, say ring, 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 ring.
Hello.
Hey, is this the owner of 534 West 5th here in Port Angeles?
Yes, it's my home.
Oh, awesome. And pause. I'm saying here in Port Angeles. This is to eliminate potential objections that Robert can come up with. If I say here, I'm local. If I say there, if I say, in Port Angeles, I don't sound nor am I local at that point. Make yourself be that local agent. Oh, so Robert says I'm the owner. Oh, perfect. I'm looking at your place on Zillow right now. And I mean, full transparency, I'm a real estate agent. Is your house in decent shape? I mean, I saw the pictures were messed up, and I just wanted to let you know about that. And then
Well,
I pause and I wait for the seller to respond.
and if we're role playing, I tell you, once I got done laughing, that was really awesome, by the way. You know what? Yeah, that's my son took those photos, and yeah, I'm not good at that electronic stuff.
You know how kids are. And to pause, a couple things with this. I'm gonna try and pause along the way to give you an idea. As I'm talking to Robert, I'm looking at the listing. I do not look at the listing until we are talking. There is no point whatsoever. Because guess what? If I call him and he doesn't answer, I just wasted 3 minutes looking at pictures when I could be calling another homeowner. Right? Number two, Robert said his kid took the pictures. Drop the barrier of resistance. Most for sale by owners do not want to talk to a listing agent. So guess what? Make jokes and make Robert smile. The easiest way to build a friendship up, right? Right? Yeah, I know how kids can be when you take pictures, right? And or you know how technology is when we're getting up here in age, right? Making them smile, making them laugh, making it more friendly. I'm not an agent right now. I'm just calling Robert to let him know that his pictures are messed up. Right? I'm his friend at this point. I'm bringing him value. Bring value, bring value. Do not pressure them to list at this point. Right? So coming back to the role play with Robert. Yeah, I know how kids can be when you're taking pictures when they're taking pictures. I mean, above everything else, I just wanted to let you know that when I was scrolling the listings, I saw the very first picture was just like the kitchen sink, and I had to scroll like 5 or 6 pictures to find the outside of the house. Again, just want to make sure you knew about that if you hadn't seen it.
Yeah, you know what? I don't know. I don't know how that stuff works.
Yeah, it's good old technology, right? I mean, that said, and now I'm going to start talking, by the way, guys, about the house and about being the agent now that I've already built up that rapport on the front end. So, I guess, out of curiosity, Robert, why did you decide to go for sale by owner?
Well, you know what? I've bought and sold a couple homes before, and it just seemed like the thing to do. I just went on to Zillow and placed it on that Zillow, and I'm
I
starting to
love
get
it.
calls. I'm mostly
Easy
getting
enough,
calls from
right?
agents, though.
Oh, really? You haven't had any buyers call you yet?
Mostly agents like yourself calling me.
Yeah, which kind of frustrating, I bet. I mean, as well, I mean, it's to pause. You'll get, I've sold homes in the past. Number two, say, I don't want to pay an agent's commission. Number three, I want control. Robert, yourself, do you know of any other major objections for sell by owners will give you?
Do I, as an agent, know what they'll give you?
Yes, sir.
Well,
Like, what are the major ones? What
you
do you
just hit the
see?
three most important. Most of them don't want to pay a commission. That's the main reason why they don't list. Most
Yep,
of them is because they've done it before and they think they can do it again. Most of them because they just think they're smarter than most. And I think it's nothing bad on the seller, but most of them feel that it's such an easy process they can do it themselves.
100%. And so, guess what? For all of us on the call, we need to have multiple objection handlers for each type of objection, right? And above everything else, never butt heads with the seller, always stay in alignment with the seller. For example, if Robert were to say, I don't want to pay an agent's commission, I don't blame you. Who does want to pay an agent's commission, right? And you guys can see right now, Robert's smiling when I'm saying that. All sellers are going to agree with you, right? Now again, barrier of resistance is now dropped. Now they're like, well, what do you mean, right? Most sellers do not expect you guys to say this. What you have to do is what's called a pattern interrupt. Change what they're expecting you to do. Keep them on their toes, which will keep them on the phone. So, coming back to the role play, talking with Robert about, he sold many homes in the past. That's awesome if you sold many homes in the past. How long ago was the last one you sold?
Let's see. The last one we sold was about 7 years ago when we sold a home to buy this home.
Good for you, by the way. And to pause, if you don't know what to say, ask them a question. Get them talking. Always, always, always get them talking if whenever possible. Because guess what? As they talk, as they dive into their motivation, you're going to be better and more equipped to handle what they're saying. For example, if I didn't know what to say to Robert, like, for example, if I wanted to say something specifically, but Robert's not giving me that opportunity, I'm going to ask a question to potentially mend that gap. And also, it's going to buy me more time to think of what to say. All I'm doing is asking, he told me he sold homes in the past. So when was the last time he sold, right? It's not an intrusive question. It's not a very personal question, but it buys me time. And now I can dive deeper into motivation now that I've had more time to think about things. So now I'm going to explain a little bit of the difference between the market 7 years ago and today, right? Coming back into the role play. Well, holy cow, I mean, 7 years, no kidding there. I mean, the market's changed so much since then. I mean, did you know Washington State as a whole, we're up over 30% in inventory year over year?
Wow, I didn't know that.
No, so we have to do different things to sell homes right now than back then. Because you and I both know, I mean, it's one thing to put the house for sale, but it's another thing to actually close the home, most importantly. I mean, and now I'm going to go for my close. Robert, if I can help you net what you're looking to net, would you be opposed to meeting and hearing what I could do for you?
Well, you know what I really was, I'm getting a lot of calls from agents and I, I think I can do it on my own. I think I'm going to go through the weekend and try it on my own.
I'll be honest, I don't think you can do it yourself. I know you can. If you really wanted to, by all means, you can do it yourself. Do you want those agent calls to stop?
You know what? I get a lot of calls every single day, and it's to the point where I'm not even answering my phone
Yeah,
anymore.
that's what I have.
Well, what if you're missing a buyer's call? I mean, you got to answer your phone.
This
I mean,
is yours, and these are.
I'm going to go ahead and mute Mr. Russell there.
if you're
Russell, you need to mute yourself.
We're all
I hit it
good.
for you.
We're all good. Go ahead.
So, I mean, if you're getting a bunch of agent calls, you can't just not answer the phone. I mean, you got buyers calling you too. But most importantly, Robert, again, above everything else, if you can net what you want to net, most importantly, and if I can take care of the work for you, would you be opposed to at least meeting and hearing what I could do for you?
Well, you know what? If you can bring me a buyer, I think I would be willing to meet with you.
Okay, that's fair. And I'm going to call it like it is. Number one, I couldn't tell you if I have a buyer because I haven't seen the place in person. And number two, I only work with sellers. I mean, there's a reason why right now, as we speak, with the market changing, I have 9 sellers under contract and another 4 waiting to go under contract that are currently in negotiation.
Wow, that's great.
So would an afternoon or an evening be better for me to swing by?
Go right into that close. I love it.
Because what's the worst thing that happens? He's going to give me another objection. My goal when I set the expectation to set the appointment, I want to give them no reason to not want to meet with me. And what I mean by that, if I can help you net what you want to net, get rid of those agent calls, would you be opposed to meeting? And I say, would you be opposed, not would you be open to meeting specifically. I want them to say no. There's a guy named Alex Hormozy who some of you may know online from social media, who he talks about people don't want to be opposed to doing things. People don't want to say yes. Let's call it like it is. It's easier to say no than it is to say yes. So how can we get people to say no? Would you be opposed to meeting and hearing how we can make that happen for you?
I like
No, I
that.
wouldn't be opposed, right? Awesome. Would an afternoon or an evening be better to meet? Alternative choice close. When you give them an alternative choice close, it's not saying, Robert, would Thursday work? No, I'm busy. Okay, well, would Friday work? No, I'm busy. Well, maybe Saturday? Well, just send me an email, Austin, and we can put something on the calendar. Who's ever gotten a call like that, right? Or had a call like that, I should say. All of us have. If they say the afternoon, I'm happy. If they say the evening, I'm happy, right? I don't care when it is. I just want to meet with the guy face to face. So would an afternoon or an evening be better for me to swing by?
Love it.
Any questions on that part first, guys?
You know what? I think that's awesome. Do you want to do a quick Q&A to go around the horn on that?
Let's do that. Let's do that, and then we'll go into the other FSBO script next.
Got it. Who would like to ask Oscar a quick question? All right. You've answered all their
Perfect.
questions. Let's move to the next
Hey,
thing.
Austin, I got a
FSBO.
question.
Go ahead, Lawrence.
Got a question for you. So really quick, Austin, how many calls are you making per day? And then when you set those appointments, how many times are you going out to a house and actually closing on the listing and actually getting the listing?
So I average. So okay, let me back up. So calls a day, 200 calls a day. I'll get about a 10% answer rate. And this is between follow-up calls, new lead calls, cold calls, etc. About a 10% answer rate is pretty typical, I would say. And then I'm setting anywhere from 2 to 3 listing appointments every single day. About half to 40% of those appointments will show up. On when they show up, if they sign with me, if they sign with somebody else, or whether they never sign with anyone at all, I convert 70%. If they sign with somebody, I'm at a 91% conversion rate. So I know if they're signing with somebody on 100 listings, I'm getting 91 of those.
Got it. Thanks, man. That's
Yep.
cool.
Those are because you track and measure your numbers.
Yes. And to what you said, it's not on a napkin, I'll say. You know, it obviously I have it digitalized on Club Wealth University, but by tracking my numbers, I'm able to really get down to that nitty-gritty detail of if I want to make more money, how many more phone calls do I have to make that amount of money? So you really got to get down to those nitty-gritty details.
Absolutely. Tracking and measuring is so key. And I was more being funny about the napkin because so many people don't even track and measure their numbers. I'm thinking, let's just step it up just a little bit and type it on a napkin. So let's do that. Then we can go digital. And I know the Club Wealth has some fantastic some tools. So let's dive into the FSBO script. Let's do that.
Yeah. So getting back to the second one, this is a newer script that we've been starting to use. And so we've been using as a team for about 2 weeks so far. So I don't have too many numbers and results to share off of it. But I'll say this, in one day, one of my ISAs who's overseas set 2 listing appointments off of it. So again, coming back to the FSBO script, and this is for all homes, specifically ones that are older on the market, good pictures or not. Excuse me. Looking at the house, I'll just call them the exact same opening line that I already used with Robert. Hey, is this the owner of 123 Main Street? Yes. Who is this? Oh, it's Austin. I'm looking at your place on Zillow. But then I'm going to say, obviously, I'm an agent. I noticed your property shows, it's been on the market for a little while. This one says 51 days. Is it still available, or have you forgotten to pull it off the market quite yet? Again, I'm not saying is it still just are you still selling? That's a yes or no question. It's an alternative choice answer. Is it still available, or did you just forget to pull the home off the market when it's sold?
You know what? It's still available.
Really? Oh, I mean, Robert, I'm looking at your place online. It looks to be beautiful. Why do you think it hasn't sold?
Well, you know what? I'm a for sale by owner, and I'm just really busy at work, and I just haven't had time to really deal with it. I'm just looking for offers.
Perfect. And to pause the role play, guys, he's giving me the objections. He's giving me everything I need as ammunition to go list his house, right? I'm not saying, are you open to listing? I'm not saying this, that, the other. I don't have time to list to do the work myself. Okay, hire an agent, right? I'm busy at work. Okay, hire an agent. What about your family time? Well, hire an agent so you don't have to deal with it, right? He's giving me all the ammunition I need. I'm sounding surprising. I mean, it's a beautiful home, Robert. It hasn't sold. Why do you think it hasn't sold? Oh, this isn't working, this isn't working, this is right, that, etc. Right? I don't blame you, Robert, if you're busy with work and all that kind of stuff. I mean, again, this will be the pause. I'm a little ADHD if you guys can't tell, so I scroll a little bit. I want you guys to write this thing down. Evidence of success. You each need to memorize and have your own evidence of success. Everyone's is going to be different. And what do I mean by that? Lawrence, give me an example. How many homes did you sell last year? Is it Lawrence or is it Lorenz?
It's Lawrence. So
Lawrence.
6 last year.
Perfect. 6. Awesome.
6 properties last year.
Right? In the grand scheme of things, you may think, well, 6 homes, that's not a lot of homes to sell.
Nope.
National average is less than 3 a year. So
Right.
when you're talking to for sale by owner Robert, you can say, Robert, I kid you not, I sold twice the national average of homes sold per agent per year this last year. So if I can help you net what you're looking to net, would you be opposed to meeting and hearing what I could do for you? Now that 6 homes sounds way bigger than it actually is, and you're not lying. Most importantly, you're bringing statistical data to them. Guys, it doesn't matter how many homes you've actually sold. Start small, and then you can build that up from there.
That's huge.
Mine, for example, I'll say, you know what, Robert, I kid you not, I've sold over 250 homes in the past 3 years. So if my team and I can help you net what you're looking to net, would you be opposed to meeting and hearing what we could do for you?
Absolutely. Let's make it happen.
So would an afternoon or an evening be better to me? And I just go right to setting the appointment from there.
And that's what prospecting, Austin, is all about, is prospecting to schedule the appointment. That's it.
There's 4 outcomes on any phone call conversation that you guys have. Number 1, you set an appointment. Number 2, you schedule a follow-up. Number 3, you choose not to do business with them. You know what, Robert's not a great fit for me as an agent. I'm choosing not to do business with Robert. Or number 4, they hang up. Guys, what's the worst thing that happens? You keep somebody on the phone and they hang up on you. They weren't going to do business with you anyways. So why not sharpen your skills with somebody who is not interested, then just brush it off? What's the worst thing that happens? They say no. So set an appointment, have a follow-up. You choose not to do business with them. They choose not to do business, or excuse me, they choose to hang up. So set an appointment, set a follow-up call. You choose not to do business, or they hang up on you. It's really that simple. If you can focus on those small things, you're going to increase your volume. You're going to increase the quality of your conversations. We always talk about role-playing with people and role-play partners, which is great. Why not role-play with consumers? And if the consumer's not wanting to work with you, why not use them as a practice person? Why not have them be your role-play partner, right? And if they hang up, whoop de freaking do, right? I hate to say it like that, but Robert, do you have any thoughts about that part as well?
You know what? I think that's, I preach that. My number one goal is don't take it personal. You're going to have way more no's than you are yeses. So if you're, for instance, if you're making 100 contacts, you're going to get a lot of no's, and that's okay. Like you just said, and I think this is key, is when you're role playing, sure, you can role play with your accountability partner and do role playing sessions, but there's no better role playing than actually getting out there and getting real objections instead of, well, let me say, what if this and what if that? Real objections come from having real conversations. So the question I have for you, Austin, confidence. I know a lot of people, they have creative avoidance. They go, oh my God, I got a prospect. I'm going to go to the bathroom, then I'll prospect. Oh, I'm going to go take out the trash, then I'll prospect. Creative avoidance is a serious thing.
Yeah.
What do you suggest an agent does to build that confidence? They're just getting started. They don't have a lot of success stories. What advice would you give an agent that's just getting started in prospecting to build that confidence?
You are doing the seller a disservice by not calling them. And what I mean by that, let's just talk about an expired listing, for example. This person went on the market with an agent. Unfortunately, for whatever rhyme or reason, the agent just could not get the job done. You know you can sell that house. Guess what? You are disservicing somebody by not making a phone call to them. They need your help. They're asking for your help, but you're not willing to give them that opportunity to chat with you. Guys, is that we get all in our own mind of, I don't want to be a disservice to Robert by calling him, all these other people have already called him. Well, guys, they want to hear from you. They don't think they want to hear from you, but they need to hear from you. Great example of this happening this last year for myself. I had a seller who came off the market with somebody else for $340,000. Other agent couldn't sell the house. The seller's like, well, the agent said the house is not financeable because the mobile home's been moved twice, and it just couldn't pass for financing. To Robert's point, what do? I met with him face to face. I went over to the house. I sat with the seller, and I'm like, you know what? Put a railing right here. Just put a railing on the house right here. We relisted the house for $390,000. Sold in 2 weeks. For $50,000 more because of a railing? Guys, we all have this expertise and knowledge. Robert's been in the business since before dirt, before myself, right? If you need help, ask Robert. He is a valuable partner to you guys. And he can say, you know what, based off this, that, the other, if you do this, it will pass for an inspection. Guys, by me knowing that the house needed a railing, that seller netted over $40,000 more than what they would have with somebody else. If I hadn't made that phone call, they would not have known that. They could have sold it for $300,000 with somebody else. We have to be the ones to be the catalyst in their lives to help them get what they need most importantly. Don't get me wrong, there's not always perfect situations like that, but you are here to support them. They need you. Be that person to help them.
I love it. I love it. That confidence is key. And I think the momentum, Austin, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, but what does your prospecting schedule look like in terms of putting it on your calendar? Walk us through that. What does that look like? A daily prospecting, time blocking schedule? What does that look like to you?
So every single day in the office, I get to my office. It'll be crazy for most folks. I get to my office at 6:30 every single morning. I work on Teams systems from 6:30 to 7:30 in the morning. That's just automations, follow-up systems, email campaigns, you name it. Meeting with team members, coaching clients, etc. 7:30 in the morning, we have a team huddle. That's where our accountability partners on the team. We report our numbers from the previous day, and we commit to something new for that current day. Then we are doing our 4 hours of prospecting in the office together. For us, that's huge. It's nice having somebody in the office next to you because they can talk to people while you're dialing. It's a lot lower barrier of entry per se. For a lot of people, you're like 4 hours a day. Start with a half hour. Start by putting on your calendar saying, you know what, no matter what, I'm going to make a half hour phone calls today. But make it consistent. I'll tell you this. If I decided one day that I didn't want to show up to the office, you know how many phone calls I would get from my team? Austin, are you okay? What's going on? I mean, we haven't heard from you, et cetera, right? You need to get to that level of accountability to where your group and your people, yourself, somebody else, holds each other accountable. As you each hold each other accountable, you'll all, the rise of tide raises all ships, right? As you guys continue to work and have that expectation together, you will continue to grow together. And at noon, that's what I'm off making my appointment time.
I love it. You know what? Here's the important thing to point out is you rattled off your calendar from the top of your head because it's ingrained and it's now a habit. And so when somebody says, hey, Austin, can you come help me move 10 o'clock on a Monday? It's not that I don't want to help you. It's just that I have this, and this going on. In real estate, and the reason why I bring that up, real estate, we get pulled in all these different directions. We don't have a real set schedule that we're given. I know the top agents, at least that I talk to, and many of them are on this call, is they time block from the time they wake up until the time they go to bed. They can recite their schedule without even looking at it. And that's when you internalize it and commit to it. So that's huge for me, knowing your schedule. You said something that cracked me up. Keep them on their toes so they stay on the phone. Think about that. Pattern interrupts and those kinds of things. That stuff works. It's a fluid conversation. It's not, hi, my name is. It's a conversation. Did you notice when Austin, when he was talking, he's just having a conversation. It's an educated conversation. He knows what he's doing, But once you internalize your scripts, we all use scripts, we all things that
Yep.
we want to say, but we internalize it so it comes off as just a normal conversation, two people having a great conversation. That's what folks want. What sellers don't want is that robot, boom, 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 not listening. So thank you for that. That was super
I'll
huge.
mention one thing that you meant on this part as well. Number one, to start, everybody needs scripts. I need scripts. Robert's probably needs scripts to start in the business, no matter where you're at. You got to know where to start. Once you get those scripts memorized, make them an outline. In terms of, for me, for example, when I'm talking to a for sale by owner, do I have my script? No, it's an outline. What that outline is I need to ask, is this the owner? I need to let them know who I am, and I need to let them know they have bad pictures. And eventually I need to talk about, and eventually down the road, I need to talk about asking for the appointment. That's my script. If you want to know my script, that's it for verbatim. But oh, by the way, Austin, well, you're missing the meat of your script. What do I say? When do I say it? Well, it's a conversation. The biggest thing that will make it go from a script to an outline is something called matching and mirroring. And so what that looks like is using this example, I can't remember the specific example now that we had talked about as well, with the script, excuse me, is restating and affirming what Robert says. So if Robert and I are talking on the phone about, hey, I'm going into foreclosure, for example. Well, I'm not going to say, okay, great, you're going into foreclosure. Well, I'd love to meet with you to sell your house. No, you're going into foreclosure. Okay, no worries. When's your foreclosure date? Right? What I'm doing at that point is I'm diving deeper and asking more questions about it while continuing to go through my list of things that I need to get done. Robert, does that make sense? Or anything you want to talk about with matching and mirroring? I feel like you can explain it a lot better than I can.
Well, matching and mirroring is super important. If matching your tonality, when somebody's talking really heavy and high, you want to talk a little lower. You never want to. Matching and mirroring is very important. It comes with breathing, it comes with pacing, and there's a lot of stuff. That's a whole nother conversation. I'm glad you brought that up. Next week, we have a special guest from Tony Robbins talking about matching and mirroring and using the tone. And, it's going to be fantastic. So I'd love for you to jump on that.
That's awesome.
Yeah, so I think that's important. Let's wrap this up. And first of all, I don't know about you guys, but I'm taking more notes than I think I'm just a note taker. I love this. This is fantastic, and I'm so appreciative of you. In closing, what do you want to say to the agents that want? Let's talk to the new agent first, real quick. What do you want to say to the new agent that's going to get them off their butt and get out there and start making it happen, making the calls, reaching out to FSBOs, expireds, pre-foreclosure, your database? What do you want to say to the newer agent first?
I'm going to say there's two things specifically. Number one, we all know that systems run businesses and people run systems. So what do we need to do? We need to develop the proper systems to start in our business. If you guys haven't jumped on a half-hour call with Robert yet, you should. And just talk about the systems. If that's all you did was talk about systems, let him help you guys identify where the holes are and what you can plug to start. Number two, if the only thing you ever did in your entire career was for sale by owners, expired listings, and canceleds, you're set for life. Develop systems for each one of those lead sources, and you'll never have to worry about anything else ever again.
That sounds like it could hold true for the experienced agents as well, Austin. Don't you think?
Yeah.
At the end of the day, if you want to grow your listing inventory, great stuff today, Austin. Thank you so much, man. I tell you, this has been a treat. Do you mind if we do a quick Q&A, see if there's any questions?
Go for it.
See if anyone, let's open up our mics. Let's ask any question you got from Austin. I tell you what, let's take advantage of this time. Let's go ahead and open up the mics. Any questions for Austin? Not all at once, though.
I'll jump in here. Hey, Austin. I'm also in Washington State. And back in the day, I did a transaction or whatever with your dad a long time ago. I'm helping out some other agents, and I coach them once a week. And so I was going to ask you, say somebody they're calling expireds. But the reason, of course, most expireds are expired is usually because of the price, right? So what's your script for, getting around, you priced your house too high? Do you, like I've often said, well, your agent priced your house too high to get around that. What's your script with that?
Number one, I'll ask them, why do you feel your house didn't sell? And sometimes, to your point, they'll say the agent overpriced my home. Great, let's reduce the price, right? Number two, there's two things I will never talk over the phone call about specifically: commissions and price. Those are in-person conversations. Is that I know when I get them in person, I can handle this 10 times better. It's a more professional conversation, and they get better results in the long run because of it. That's also they only think that those two things sell houses. They think, well, I want the cheapest agent. Great, go with Redfin, right? Hey, you know, MLS4owners, MLS4owners.com, $500. Great, it's cheap. But you're not going to make the most money going that way. What's the most dollar productive thing that they can do? Meet with you face to face.
Awesome. And I know a lot of times face to face could be belly to belly, or face to face could be a professional Zoom presentation. Traveling the country in our RV, really hard to get up and say, hey, Fizbo, let me drive 3,000 miles and go meet with you, only for that appointment not to work out. So face to face could be in person, belly to belly, or it could be face to face via Zoom in a professional setting. Obviously, having your computer, everything's right. It looks like a professional environment. Bottom line, it starts with making the calls. It starts with making the contacts. Real estate is a contact sport. Reach out, track and measure your numbers. Man, Austin, I tell you, that was fun, man. I could go on forever, but
I could too.
Yeah, let's definitely have an Austin 2.0. We'd love to have you back on. And I just really appreciate everybody that came on. Austin, thank you so much. Richie Sorensen, thank you so much for your time in your mortgage minute. I'm going to share my screen one last time, reminding everybody who we have as our special guest. And I want to remind you that if you have any questions, reach out to me. Don't just survive in real estate, thrive. So with that said, hit that QR code. Let's have a conversation. I want to thank my special guest, Austin Hellickson. Thank you so much. You were powerful. Richie Sorensen, thank you for the mortgage minute. And thank you everybody for jumping on. This is Robert Weichelt with the More Listings Mastermind. I appreciate your time.
I just want to bottle up his confidence.